The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the new day and all the blessings that are ours within it. It is with special thanks that we lift before you our educational institutions, especially the St.Mary School, its head teacher, staff, pupils, and all others who make this a place for learning and development. Today, as we give thanks for the gifts and skills of artists, those persons who bring to our eyes the beauty of creation, we give you thanks for the mural which today we will unveil. May all who pass through these gates find it as one of the motivators for learning and development, as these, the children of this school, aim high, work hard, and keep pure. May all that we do today be a reminder of God's gift to us as we seek to glorify Him in all that we say and do. Amen.
We thank Reverend Harper Johnson for that prayer. You may be seated. We invite Mr. Fernando Carter, Senior Education Officer Curriculum, to give the official welcome on behalf of the Ministry of Education. Mr. Carter?
Good morning. The Honorable Santia Bradshaw, Minister of Education, Parliamentary Secretary Dr. Romil Springer, Parliamentary Secretary, Permanent Secretary Mrs. Janet Phillips, Senior Education Officer Dr. Christina Morris and other ministry officials, Principal Mrs. Linda Archer, Cultural Ambassador Dr. Gabby Carter, teachers, students, specially invited guests, press, alumni. We welcome you to St. Mary School for this auspicious occasion where we continue the unveiling of the Mural project. We seek to have collaboration with as many stakeholders and entities as possible to create products in our educational environment. This collaboration was not only public and private sector in relation to Harris Paints, and we thank them, but also from the point of view of artists who would have collaborated with teachers and students in the school to create these projects, St. Mary's being one of those schools that being beneficial to this project. We also have collaboration in relation to you, the parents, you, the teachers, who after the creation will help to sustain and maintain these murals in an excellent form as they should be. We also need to recognize that when we are dealing with the creative arts, we are creating a learning space, an environment which will impact on you in terms of mind, body, and soul. We recognize that in terms of your working and playing environment, you need to be in a position where it is salubrious and it is one in which the best can be obtained out of you. And I am sure for those who would have seen the murals so far can appreciate its impact in making the work of the teachers and making the environment where students will play and learn one that is much more comfortable and one that is going to inspire and hopefully bring out that creativity that lies in all of us. It is my great pleasure to then welcome you on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, all those persons who would have participated in this mural, in this ceremony, and to ensure that you not only enjoy what we have to offer, but you appreciate the great work that is being done in terms of the creative arts to make sure that as we progress, learning is as diverse an activity and as interactive and as collaborative as we would all like it to be. I thank you for being here, and I welcome you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carter, for that very great welcome. And the students, this is really for you. And I'm sure you have already been viewing the mural and enjoying it, its colors, its images, its design. And what I particularly like about this project is that it taught me quite a lot about your school. And as we move on this morning in our very short program, we are going to see some of that information coming to light, some of the history, some of the culture of this very great school. At this time, we are going to invite the choir of the school. There's some of you who sing, and we are all about celebrating the arts. And we're so pleased to have the choir of the St. Mary's Primary School, and we're going to invite them at this time to favor us with a few selections. Let's give them a warm welcome as they come.
beacon there for all. The care that is provided to those who grace your halls will last throughout a lifetime and will stand proud and tall. Sing out, ye voices, to the first preschool for blast. Sing out, ye people, we're never looking back. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, our alma mater true. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, God's blessings rest on you. Your portal strong and sturdy, on you we can depend. With God, our mighty Savior, and you a constant friend. One voice, one heart, one harmony, to let all people know of your many great achievements, as we praise you where'er we go. Say out, ye voices, to the first preschool for blast. Say out, ye people, we're never looking back. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, our alma mater true. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, God's blessings rest on you. You proudly stand your purpose to nourish and inspire. You provide our education, excellence we all deserve. Lord, Mary's stars are shining, but there's still work to do. Keep your eyes on the Heavenly Father, and His love will see you through. Sing out, ye voices, to the first preschool for blast. Say out, ye people, we're never looking back. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, our alma mater true. St. Mary's, oh St. Mary's, God's blessings rest on you.
Good morning. We at St. Mary's can boast that we have a unique heritage. Our mural depicts some aspects of this rich and varied inheritance. Not only was St. Mary's the first free school for blacks, but one of Barbados' distinguished citizens received his primary education at the St. Mary's School. I speak of none other than the Right Excellent Samuel Jackman Prescott. Statesman, politician, political activist, revolutionary thinker, and civil rights leader are some of the words used when persons speak of Mr. Prescott. He has also been referred to as one of the very greatest men of Barbadian birth. His contribution to the development of Barbadian society earned him a place on our heroes list. The son of a wealthy white farmer and a free woman of color, Samuel saw the role education had to play to better the lives of ex-slaves and their children. In fact, for him, it was essential, and so he worked assiduously to help the working classes receive schooling. Samuel had a vision of free society which provided equality and opportunity for all. He used his position as a writer to speak out against the injustices that were meted out to black working class persons. In his newspaper articles, He wrote of the exploitation of labor and of other social and economic ills which existed. He wanted apprenticeship abolished and saw it as a slave freedom. He was against worker abuse and fought for the rights of workers. He sought equality for both male and female. At the public meetings he held, persons had an opportunity to discuss and ask questions about various topics of concern to them. He became the voice of Black consciousness and Black empowerment. We can imagine the ridicule that was thrown his way, but that did not deter him. Ridicule, however, was not all he got. Persons who did not agree with his views respected him. He was able to unite both Black and white persons into a political party. His achievements were many. He was the first Black Barbadian elected to the island's parliament. After giving distinguished service to the House of Assembly, he was a judge in the Court of Appeal. He died in 1871. Such was the man who has been called the savior of Barbados. Thank you.
I want you to give your wonderful choir and its director another round of applause. We thoroughly enjoyed that music. And I'm sure the writer and performer of one of those songs, who is right here with us, can anybody say his name? The Mighty Gavi, yes. And we're going to be hearing from him very shortly. And you really did an excellent rendition of one of my favorite songs, and I'm sure a lot of your favorite songs as well, Jack. And then we had a bit of Jackie Opel in there as well, and the classic Emerton. So it was really great. Give yourselves another round of applause. Thank you so much, choir. Ventures and initiatives like this mural project, which the ministry embarked on as a pilot project for 2019, could not have been possible without the kind assistance of our corporate sponsors. And Harris Paints, from the beginning, came on board and loaned us their assistance, their sponsorship, to enable us to execute this project this year. And we hope to continue the partnership with Harris Paints throughout the years to come. We're going to invite one of their representatives, Mr. Colin Dean, to come at this time and share some words with you. Let's give Harris Paints a round of applause.
Thank you, Master Ceremonies. Protocol already established for this meeting. I'll go right into a few comments on behalf of our company. First, it's a bright and beautiful morning, and that I extend to you. Bright and beautiful morning. Harris Paints Barbados Limited is indeed thrilled to be part of this process and to be associated with this effort to enhance, to beautify, and inspire children and students of all ages in the school system. Children like you provide the electric vibrancy to the spaces you live and learn in. And it is that which Harris Paints and other organizations seek to capture. And we at Harris Paints seek to capture it in Colors of the Caribbean paint, which is what we place in the hands of very talented painters like Nikolai Charles, Don Small, Sherry Nichols, and Kwame Hunt, and other craftspeople and poets who tell a story on walls like the one you now have, with a beautiful, impactful mural which is named Legacy. And what a legacy you all have. I was awed by some details just shared. I feel that I'm in a hallowed place after hearing the legacy of this school. Please allow this to inspire good behavior and excellent success, and take good care of it, that it may last to inspire the next group of students and others in the community. Our sincere thanks to the Ministry of Education for allowing us to partner in this, which has brought a beautiful result. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dean, for so ably representing your company, Harris Paints Barbados Limited. And again, we extend thanks to you and your company. As I said earlier, this particular mural project was a lesson for me. I'm a student of history as well, and I love history. I love learning more about Barbados. And I welcome the opportunity to sit with Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter this week just to reminisce a bit about his experiences and what it was like to be a student of this school. And it was a really fresh conversation. And I'm so pleased to have him here with us this morning to share He's going to share some music with us, and I'm sure he's going to share some memories as well. But just before he comes, he has a good friend with him as well who he didn't want to leave out of the mix. And he is a legacy in himself. He's an icon in Barbados, and we're going to invite Richard Stout. He's best known for the Richard Stout Teen Talent Show, but I grew up listening to much of his music. When I get home with you and the children, that will be the best part of my day. I remember that from being a child. So we're going to invite Richard, to just share a few comments with us this morning, a few memories, just briefly. And when he's finished, we're going to move right over to Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter. Thank you.
Good morning, boys and girls. Minister Bradshaw, Madam Principal. This is a very moving moment for me. I took my schooling very seriously. I was very fortunate to come to school here. Before that, I went to Miss Grant's school, St.Mary School. This is now the burnt out house. When I passed there, tears come to my eyes because I can't believe that a school with such a rich history has been burnt and forgotten. And we need to preserve our schools because that's where we start. Our education is very important. And I want to say to you this morning that you have to take your education very seriously. If you make one mistake in Barbados, you're finished. So it's important that you grab your education and work with it. When I went to school here, the boys wore their pants. There was a shirt inside their pants. Now I see it's outside. We couldn't do that when we went to school here. We had a headmaster called Mr. Doughton who was very serious about how you would carry yourself. But that is what's happening today. I know it's a suit now that you wear it outside. And then we had a lady called Miss Linton. She asked you to show your teeth. And if it didn't look like it was scrubbed, she would hit you with a ruler on the teeth. Yes. And then she would say, show me your nails. And if your nails were dirty, she would bang you on your nails with a ruler. If your ears that had no wax, she would take a pencil and put it in your ears and bring it around like that. Yes, that's the kind of school I've been to. You know, we had milk at a certain time at school. We had to get milk and biscuits from the milk room. And we had to form a line orderly. And we spoke to our teachers in a very manly way. We were respectful, and we appreciated what they did. As a matter of fact, if you didn't come to school Monday, Mr. Doughton will come to your house on Tuesday himself and now, why you didn't come to school yesterday? And you had to explain, his parents had to explain why you weren't at school. No letters, nothing like that. He came himself and found out why weren't you at school today. You're very lucky to be going to St. Mary's School. I wish you well. I wish you great life ahead of you. I hope you take your time and educate yourself, listen to your teachers, and moreover, respect yourself, respect your parents, and respect Barbados. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we invite our cultural ambassador, Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, cultural practitioner, cultural icon, calypsonian, kaisoman, poet, activist. The list goes on to share with us at this time.
Good morning, everyone. As my friend from Harrisburg said, protocol established. Before I sing these few words, I want to thank the children so much for their performance. Please give them another applause. When I was going to school here, the same Mr. Doughton that Richard referred to, what happened, he had a garden. And all of us didn't have to go in this garden. So he picked out whom he thought he wanted to work in the garden. Of all the unfortunate people, the first name he called was mine. I was very upset. I didn't want to go in no garden. So I decided I am not going in no garden. So the garden thing was like after 3 o'clock. After school. You couldn't break school to do no garden with Mr. Doughton. So when 3 o'clock, gone. Miss Carter, that bad-looking little bony boy that goes to my school, is he here? My mother said, yes, he's here. What happened? He was supposed to be in the garden this evening, and he did not go. My mother said, what? You told him to go? Yes, I did. Him and 5 more. All the other 5 are there right now. There's only one missing person. Would you be so kind as to ask him to come out in there and come where he should be? My mother said, boy, go out in here, go with Mr. Dodden. So I gone out. So when I finished, I thought that was it. You only work for like half hour. He wouldn't let you work in a long time. So I said, good. And I going, where are you going? I said, home. No. You will come up here on this platform. And I heard that you can sing fairly good. So when I hit this tuning fork, I want you to hit that note. I never saw a tuning fork before in my life. A steel looking thing go, ping. Hit that note. I go, ping. No, you're a little flat. Hit it again. Ping. I said, ping. No, you're a little sharp. And that's how my music career began at St. Mary's School. Every evening. I mean, every evening. Mr. Dottin, 3 different tuning forks, C, E, and G. Never forgot it. I had to hit each note individually, and he would switch them around to make sure that I wasn't just getting familiar with the song, that I actually knew each song individually. Then the same Miss Linton, she had us in the choir and also a Christmas play. And we all had to do a little acting and singing and this and that. She was very, very good at the arts. She was actually a Jamaican. I did not know that because at that time I didn't know the difference between a Jamaican accent and a Vincentian or a Grenadian or anybody else. I just said, she's talking funny. But very good teacher. And so between Mr. Dottin and Miss Linton, I began, and then a man called Seymour Bishop Griffo, then when I went in the Chapman's Lane / Emerton choir, it was him then who honed my skills and so on. And then at St. Leonard's then, a man called Mr. U.C. Hackett became my music teacher. I have to give you a joke. Richard Stout happened to be the best singer in the school, but also the best cricketer. So they made him the captain, and I could play fairly good, so I get picked on Richard's team. Well. On the morning, we were supposed to play Wesley Hall. Wesley Hall, although we were secondary school and they were primary, they were very good, so they're playing people like David Murray and these guys. Richard Stout, like a police or a military inspector, he looking at everybody. You, pointing at me. You have on school socks. I say, yeah, well, no, this is a cricket game, white socks. You're off. And my dear friend took me off the team for not having on the right socks. Richard Stout has not changed. Believe you me, you come in the wrong clothes. Let Richard say blue. You better don't wear red or green or something close to blue, because you will not be performing with him. He's a disciplinarian of the highest order. I am so grateful to St. Mary's School. I mean grateful, because everything that you see me exercise, I learned it here. Discipline. Stouty has never been, he has been keeping that team talent now 7,000 years. And he has never started it late once. I mean, once. You know, that is absolutely amazing. I remember an evening we were at the George Street Auditorium, and Richard got the news that the bass player just got in an accident on his way to the show, and that he needed a little time and a few minutes. And Richard said, I'll give him the time, but you know my show's still starting at 6. And Richard started the show without a bass player. The guest artists who went on, he didn't let the contestants, because he think it might have been unfair, like some would be getting the bass player and others. But the guest performers who were performing, some of them had to sing without the bass player. I admired that because it meant nothing. When you hear a hurricane coming, the last person to cancel a show is Richard Stout. He will wait. I said, Richard, you know, the weather say, the weather? They've been wrong 90% of the time. This ain't canceling. You coming up? Yes, well, I will see you. And when it clear, I know they didn't know what they're doing, man. I know. But, you know, that's my real buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all. I want to thank the artists who did the mural. And I want to say one other thing, and that is that I am not the greatest artist to come through this school. The greatest artist to come through this school was a boy called Dalton Bishop. You all know him as Jackie Opel. I saw him did some incredible things on stage I have never seen James Brown or anybody else do. Jackie Opel could sing any song in any key at any time. I don't mean in any one particular genre, but Jackie could sing blues, sing rock, sing jazz, sing reggae, sing calypso, sing folk, you name it, sing classical. And not only that, he had this ability to back the microphone like this, and you could still hear his voice coming through here. And then he played guitar, he played a little keyboard, played very good saxophone, played bass, and he played drums. That part of his life nobody speaks about. And then the ability to write, and write really well. One of the greatest calypsos ever written was written by Jackie Opel and recorded about the West Indies cricket team in 1960-61 tour when we beat, when they tied, but we won, but they said it tied in Australia. And Jackie, if you hear him phrasing, his ability to phrase like that is amazing. And like me, he came from Emerton. So I want to thank the artists for having highlighted Jackie on the mural as well. This morning, I'm not going to do one of my songs. I'm going to do a song that Miss Linton taught me, but Mr. Dottin told me that I will be singing for the rest of my life. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed will be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. But lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you.
All I can say is wow. Just wow. That was wonderful. Gabby, thank you so much for those stories. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today. And as you would have seen, he is represented on the mural as well. Thank you so much for that wonderful song. Okay, at this time, we invite our Minister of Education, the Honorable Santia Bradshaw, to deliver her remarks.
Thank you. You might need to turn it. There, that's good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. Wonderful. This morning, it gives me great pleasure to be present at St. Mary's Primary School, to witness and to participate in a historic event, which I hope will serve as a symbolic demonstration of some of the transformations coming to our education system. Today's mural presentation, our second edition in this series for Education Month, is significant and unique because of the powerful messages which is it intended to convey. Messages about the dual roles which education and the arts can play in uplifting a society and a nation. St. Mary's Primary is not only strategically placed as an institution in the heart of one of our city communities, but it is a school which, as we've heard this morning, was founded on principles of progress and development, since it was one of the first schools opened for free Black children in the 1800s. We welcome the opportunity as a ministry, therefore, to celebrate this history and the accomplishments of this school through inclusion in our pilot mural project facilitated by our team of local Barbadian artists. We have chosen 4 schools for murals this year and welcome the opportunity to beautify these learning spaces while at the same time promoting the value of the arts. Each school also presents us with the added opportunity of promoting its uniqueness and culture as we seek to use these public murals as vehicles for telling the ongoing stories of these institutions. Let me just say at this point that it is my intention that all of the teachers within our various schools are able to ensure that the history of a number of the individuals who we are depicting through these murals become the order of the day in terms of learning for all of our children. It is not just about painting images beautifully on walls, but it is about now ensuring that the work that these persons have done is cemented in the minds of our young people. I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank our team of artists. A few months ago, a gentleman by the name of Kwame Hunt, who initiated the project by a WhatsApp message and then a telephone call to myself, allowed me the opportunity to be able to embrace the creative arts within education in a way that I believe is going to be spoken about and talked about for a very long time. Because with the assistance of Kwame, Sherry Nichols, Don Small, and Nikolai Charles, along with our corporate sponsors, Harris Paints, who have made this venture possible, we have begun a process of transformation of our schools. And while it is in only one small part, a wall here or there, I believe it signals the beginning of more things to come in relation to the improvement of the school plant. At the Ministry of Education, we recognize that a part of what makes a school relevant and successful is its ability to stay grounded and connected to its history while reshaping and configuring itself for the 21st century. As our Education Month theme acknowledges technology, the bedrock of innovation and positive development, there are links which must be established and maintained between education and the development of technology required for the emergence of a smart Barbados. While digital development is critical for our country's positioning on a global stage, a connection to our history and values as articulated by our cultural icons, many of whom are celebrated on this mural today, will ensure that we remain grounded in our cultural identity as Barbadians. Our Prime Minister has often spoken about creating a national consciousness amongst our people. And I believe, again, that this is a symbol of the start of a journey to give our creators, our artisans, a rightful place within our education and our cultural landscape. So while as a government we continue to place great emphasis on the importance of technological development in our schools and across our nation in every sector, and while we know that this will position us as competitors on a global stage, we also appreciate how the arts can serve as powerful reminders of our core identity as Barbadians and Caribbean citizens. A mural can serve, therefore, as a type of visual narrative, which tells the story of where we came from and of where we hope to go as a school, as a community, and as a nation. As we embrace today's digital revolution as a vehicle for positive development, we simultaneously understand the grounding which arts and culture must provide for our students, who must also be transformed into 21st century digital citizens and indeed global citizens. As we forge ahead into a future of rapid digital transformation, the arts are capable of communicating the core national values we want to take with us. These social and cultural icons represented in this mural today, who experienced their earliest beginnings at the St. Mary's Primary School, have in their own way transformed the social and cultural landscape of our country and have paved the way for others to follow. It is no coincidence, therefore, that one of our national heroes, whose name is borne on one of our leading technical and vocational institutions, Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute, was also a pupil of this school. National and regional leaders in the entertainment arena, like Jackie Opal, who brought us Spooge music, and the mighty Gabby, one of our world's most prolific writers. And I say world because, as far as I'm concerned, he is first class. The world's most prolific writers and performers of calypso, folk music, and I think demonstrated today, music will define whatever genre the mighty Grabby puts his hand onto. They have all had their earliest beginnings at the St. Mary's Primary School, and this is to be celebrated. And you've also heard Richard Stout as well is a proud son of this particular institution. And again, it goes without saying that the contribution that Richard Stout has made to the creative landscape of this country, we will forever be indebted to him for what he has given to our country. Make no mistake, Richard Stout, the place that you have in my heart. And I will make sure that these students who are coming up understand what you have done to be able to allow a number of our young artists who have excelled in the cultural arena to have a platform to be able to be the best that they can be for our nation. And for that, we salute you. As we continue to reflect on the value and the relevance of the arts and of technology during Education Month, we are aware that all elements of our education system must work in tandem to communicate what is most valuable in a Barbados of the 21st century. We can easily extract from our icons and students represented in this mural the qualities of innovative thinking and creativity. And we can also see represented in their stories the values of hard work, perseverance, commitment, service, community spiritedness, and of course, a deep love of our country, Barbados. These are the values which we know our icons would want to pass on to both the current and the future students of the St. Mary's Primary School. And we at the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training remain committed to the continued beautification of this and other schools across the country, as we acknowledge the role which both the physical and the social environment plays in student learning. We know that beautiful colors and good designs contribute to a positive mood, and it can also contribute and motivate both students and teachers in both their learning and social activities. Over the next few weeks, we hope to have the entire painting job at this school completed so that this school's decor is befitting of an institution with such a rich sense of history and with so much to offer to its surrounding districts and to our nation at large. Through its students, principals, and teachers, St. Mary's has contributed much to Barbados, and we acknowledge that through this mural presentation today. We trust that this mural will inspire its present and future students to use their talents and abilities wisely for the continued development and upliftment of our nation. And each of you as students should strive in everything that you do, that someday that another set of artists in Barbados will be able to paint a mural as beautiful as the one today to be able to represent your contribution to this country, Barbados. I thank you, good morning, and I look forward to the unveiling of this representation.
Outside to facilitate the symbolic handing over of the mural, because the mural is already exposed, but we have a little ceremony planned where we're going to be symbolically handing over the artists. Well, we have a team of artists, Kwame, Sherry, Dawn, and Nikolai. Two artists worked on this particular mural. That is Dawn Small and Nikolai Charles. Nikolai sends his apologies. He's not in the island at this moment and is unable to be here. But we're going to go on the outside. I think we're going to have the principal facilitate this process. I guess the students who are going on the outside know who they are. And we're going to have a representative group of students move on the outside with the officials from the ministry and our specially invited guests. And out there, we're going to do that symbolic handing over right in front of the mural. So at this time, teachers, kindly give us your assistance. Legacy. The artists, Don Small and Nikolai Charles, and it's being presented today to the St. Mary's Primary School, October 11th, 2019. I'm going to invite Don, who is here, to come forward. I'm also going to invite the minister, boy, and the head girl designate. This mural captures the history and spirit of the St. Mary's Primary School. It is focused on the depiction of a number of prominent personalities whose contribution to the social and cultural fabric of Barbados is well known. These include the Right Excellent Samuel Jackman Prescott, national hero of Barbados, and icons in the entertainment arena, Jackie Opel, Richard Stout, and cultural ambassador Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, all former students. The late Matthew Farley, principal, who left an indelible mark on the school, is also represented. The school's legacy can be described as one which strives to build resilience, creativity, and a sense of community students, as was passed on by the school's forerunners. The arts, sports, a range of extracurricular activities, and the appreciation of diversity are therefore depicted in the mural as critical features of the school's culture. Dawn will make the presentation. Where's the minister? Come. Dawn will make the presentation to the minister, and the minister will present to the head boy and head girl designate.
This one for me?
I invite the school's principal at this time to move the vote of thanks. Let's give her a warm welcome as she comes.
Thank you. You need to stand? I think I need you to stand, yeah. With the technical people, she needs to stand. We had to put air on, I know we can't back up. Still too late, it's coming down. Something's happening here. Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Honorable Santia Bradshaw, Parliamentary Secretary, Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training, Senator Dr. Ramel Springer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Mrs. Janet Phillips, Senior Education Officer, curriculum, Mr. Fernando Carter, and other ministry officials, Cultural Ambassador Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, and other specially invited guests, representatives from Harris Paints, teachers, students, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is my pleasure to bring you the vote of thanks on this historic occasion of the symbolic unveiling of the St. Mary's Primary School mural. We are advised by our Creator that in everything we should give thanks. And so, firstly, I say thank you to God for the privilege of universal access to education in this country, even in recessionary times. I also wish to thank the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training for the various initiatives aimed at placing our people at the cutting edge of development through education. Madam Minister, I welcome you to the St. Mary's Primary School and thank you for accepting the proposal of a local artist to paint murals as schools as a means of helping our youth. St. Mary's is indeed happy to be part of this project and getting out of the blocks so early. I wish to assure you that persons in this community are also appreciative of the mural. We can see how this can inspire our students towards achievement. We wish to thank Reverend Rosalind Harper Johnson from the St. Mary's Anglican Church for the invocation. Special thanks are, of course, extended to Messrs. Don Small and Nikolai Charles, the artists who painted our murals. They did a great job, don't you think? Thanks is also extended to our cultural ambassador, Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, and also Mr. Richard Stout, his friend, who performed here for us a few years ago. You remember that, sir? Thank you. Heartfelt thanks must also be extended to the teaching staff who worked with Mr. Small in the conceptualization of the mural. Of course, feature a number of persons who would have contributed to or benefited from the St. Mary's experience. Nonetheless, we are grateful for what we have. Personnel from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training deserve thanks for a job well done. A special thank you is extended to Dr. Denise Charles, Educational Officer Arts, as well as the team from the Media Resource Department. In her absence, we also wish to extend heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Joy Adamson, Deputy Chief Education Officer Schools, who responded readily when we reached out for help. Mr. Clive Augustine and team from CA Maintenance Services played a very important role in the success of this function today. They are therefore deserving of a big thank you. Lastly, you, the audience, is deserving of a special thank you for deeming this occasion important enough to be here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And we want to thank Ms. Archer for those very warm remarks in her vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, children, you have been an excellent audience. Children, you behaved very well today. Give yourselves a round of applause. You were a really great audience. Thank you so much, members of the media who came. Thank you all. Have a great day. You will come and give
give the instructions.